Welcome to Season 12, Episode 2 of Pixel Peak, the only show where lethal company is the friends we made along the way. I'm your host, Nick Ragone with a K.
And I'm your host, Nick Fluid with a C, and hopefully by the end of this show, we can know who the best Nick is, and it should be very obvious though.
I disagree pretty strongly with that, but moving on. We've got some pretty cool stuff today, an indie showcase on FireWatch, and a live gameplay with a dating simulator.
We've got a pixel spotlight on Stardew Valley and a forecast on Cyberpunk 2077.
Coming up next, headlines.
The Switch has been one of the main four gaming mediums for years now, alongside PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. News has been floating around for a while, but it has since been confirmed that the Nintendo Switch 2 will in fact be launched sometime in the future. The debate though was when that would happen. The original release date has been pushed back according to Bloomberg and now will be released realistically in March 2025 and not in 2024. With this new release date, Nintendo is likely looking at a pretty dry pipeline this year. Tokyo-based analyst Sirkin Toto told Bloomberg, "I'm just hoping we at least get one new Mario Kart character before another game is launched."
If you've lived under a rock for the last couple of weeks, let me tell you the tale of Helldivers 2. Released on February 8th, 2024, Helldivers 2 came out on PC and PS5 to no media attention. The game's charming and funny trailer series caught people's attention enough to start playing the game. Near instantly, clips of the game started going viral for what can only be described as Starship Troopers meets Star Wars Battlefront. The clips grew so viral that the player count skyrocketed so much that servers are mostly unavailable to join during the weekends. The game peaked with a concurrent player count of 331,000 on the weekend of the 18th of February. If you are interested in joining the Galaxy's elite, Helldivers 2 is $40 on the Steam Store and the PlayStation Store.
Fans of Sony games were sorely disappointed at the announcement that the company won't release any big first-party exclusive PlayStation 5 games in any of its existing franchises this year or before the end of its next financial year in March 2025. This game is a disappointment to many, including myself, but that doesn't mean that there won't be any new reveals. It's been heavily rumored for a while that Naughty Dog and Santa Monica are both working on new titles, so hopefully we'll hear more this year.
Exciting news for Star Wars fans like myself.
It's canceled. The Mandalorian game, it's canceled. EA does it again. All right, they laid off a bunch of employees, and now it's canceled. All right, I dressed up as Boba Fett for Halloween when I was a kid, like 3 different times, okay? 3 times. Do you know how cool it would have been to have a Mandalorian game where I can play as the Mandalorian? Not the one from the show, but still as a Mandalorian. That would have been sick, and everyone would have played it, and everyone would have loved it. And a story-driven Mandalorian game would be so cool because it's a part of Star Wars that we haven't explored really at all. All right, so I'm really mad. This is disgusting. It's stupid EA. All right, EA is always in the news. All right, it's one thing, now it's the new thing, and now it's the Mandalorian game. All right, it's ridiculous, and I'm sick of it. Goodbye.
Is the Switch 2 ever really coming out?
Who's to say? Sounds like an urban legend to me.
Let's talk about some stuff that's really happening. Coming up next, the forecast.
Hey there, Pixel Peekers. Welcome to today's forecast. Where are they now? A short segment where we look back at games that had less than stellar launches and see how they're doing now. And I'm your host today, Willem Talbot. The game in the spotlight today is Cyberpunk 2077, a recent game with a notorious launch for how incredibly bad it was. Game-breaking bugs, lackluster skill trees, and poor performance. Did I mention the game-breaking bugs? Characters' mouths not moving and cars not rendering, and if I went through the whole list, we'd have to make an entire episode dedicated to it alone. The launch was especially bad because of how hyped up Cyberpunk 2077 was. With the pre-order figure somewhere in the 8 million range, it was so obvious as to why so many disgruntled gamers wrote the game off when they saw the state of it on launch. However, the redemption of Cyberpunk 2077 has become almost as famous as the launch of it itself. Early on in the life cycle of the game, CD Projekt Red let out a slew of hotfixes to stabilize the game. After they exterminated most of the larger bugs, they moved on to add in some new content. Mostly some new guns and cars, so nothing substantial, but still better than nothing. The largest update of the game came out on September 21st in 2023. Update 2.0 overhauled the entire skill system of the game, as well as adding vehicle combat, cyberware changes, and even massive changes to the police system. All this was in preparation for the real cherry on top for Cyberpunk's redemption arc. Phantom Liberty, an expansion featuring new areas to explore, new weapons, and a thrilling noir adventure headlined by Idris Elba himself. It's truly a beautiful thing to see Cyberpunk go from a digital dumpster fire to one of the greatest RPGs to recently release. So don't let the stories of the horrendous launch fool you. Cyberpunk 2077 and its DLC is a fantastic experience that has more than redeemed itself.
Caution.
It's raining Knicks.
Coming up next, an indie showcase on FireWatch.
When talking about FireWatch, it's best to think of it as an experience more than a game. There are no boss fights, no XP, no health bars, just you in the forest, completely alone. Well, almost completely alone. The year is 1989. Your character, Henry, has fled from his messy, complicated life to the wilderness of Wyoming to become a fire lookout. The premise of the game is quite simple, but the longer you stay in the Shoshone National Forest, the more you question just how isolated you are. The game starts with a sort of telltale choose-your-adventure with the main character, Henry, meeting his future wife, Julia. You follow the relationship as the years pass. This relationship feels real, which is why when you find out that Julia has early-onset dementia, it stings. Julia is living with her family in Australia, and Henry is nowhere to be seen, instead looking for answers in Wyoming. Though physically isolated with the forest all around, Henry is met with a walkie-talkie when he arrives. This is when we meet Delilah, Henry's boss and a crucial character to the story. Most of the dialogue in this game takes place between these two people, and their relationship with one another is a large part of why this game is amazing. The people in this story feel like real people. On day one, Delilah spots fireworks in the distance, to which Henry is told to go and take care of them. Henry tracks the girls down at the lake, who promptly call you a freak, among other things, for spying on them. But the job is done, so Henry heads home.
What can I do for you?
Well, my typewriter is on the ground, outside of my tower. Someone broke in.
Hey, what?
They wrecked the place. Threw my typewriter out the window.
Day 2 is here. And bad news, communications are out. Henry and Delilah are isolated from the outside world even more now, so they have to get to the bottom of this. On the way, you and Delilah get to talk a little.
You wake up pretty early then, huh?
As soon as the sun comes up. The Forest Service really frowns on us putting up curtains for some reason.
I just covered my head with my pillow. Seems to do the trick.
Wow. The forest could never burn down on your watch.
Henry heads out to the communications line, following his trusty map along the way. This is how you traverse the large landscape that is the Shoshone National Park. You're also equipped with a compass to tell what direction you're headed. This is a great way to let you traverse the national park. No real HUD or waypoints. Just a map, compass, and your natural sense of direction. You reach the line to find beer cans and a wire that was deliberately cut. When you finally track them down to your site, you're greeted with Henry's bed sheets. However, something's off.
Whatever did it, did not hold back.
The views in this game are unbelievably pretty. The art style, colors, and general atmosphere lead to a calming, beautiful, enjoyable experience thus far. Delilah and Henry are watching the biggest fire of the year, and they've gotten very close to one another.
Yeah, I am.
I love how they look at night. During the day it's just smoke, but when the sun is down, you can just get lost.
A week passes, and Henry goes fishing. We get the classic Delilah-Henry quips, and everything seems fine. That is, until...
Going on, you didn't actually find a bear, did you?
Someone has written down what we said to each other, have been saying.
Okay.
It's going house.
This is when the game takes a big tonal shift and sets the precedent for the rest of the game. You aren't just in a beautiful forest as your bond grows with the only other person you talk to anymore. You're in danger. Rustles in the grass seem to show up more and more as you try to find the answers to all the questions swirling through your head. experience this magnificent game with an amazing art style, beautiful music that can pick up when it needs to, and an unbelievably well-written story and cast. So please go play this game. It's on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, PC. Thank you for watching. This is Jacob Pearsall signing off.
Wow, that game looks so fire, Nick.
You're so right, Nick.
It looks so cool, but I bet the kid is so lonely out there in the wilderness all alone.
I'm so glad that I'm never lonely with you, Nick.
Ditto.
But Nick, I can think of a genre of game that won't leave you feeling lost and lonely.
What's that, Nick?
Dating simulators.
Hi, I'm Kylie Carner,
And I'm Jack Thornton.
and today we're doing Season 4 of The Ratchelor.
In front of a live studio audience. Let's embark.
Let's embark.
Which one are you feeling? I kind of like
He
this
looks
one
so
or this
scraggly.
one. I don't like this one actually. I don't like his hair. He kind of looks pretentious. This one has a heart on his ear.
I like the heart on you. I don't want eyebrows. No,
No,
that's a lot.
okay.
Socks?
No pants.
No pants.
Socks and gloves.
That's what's up, okay. Onwards. Meet your suitors.
Time to date. Can't believe they made 3 of these.
Mandy.
See, I don't want to be in a throuple.
Okay, I don't think that the aunt is part of the couple. I think it's just like,
I think the aunt is
buddy.
very included if it's coming on the date.
but the aunt's asleep.
It's like having your dog watching.
We'll just say. Moving on. We'll just say, don't worry. Yeah?
Yeah. I didn't read what they said. No, this is
They just said
Mandy.
Mandy. Hello, I am Pamplemouse. As nobility and as a rat of astounding honor, I do hold the title of the Honorable, meaning I'm actually called the Honorable Pamplemouse. But I think we're all honorable, unless proven otherwise. Please, just call me by my first name, or any term of endearment. Me too? Why is that an option?
No.
Yeah, I'm also the Honorable Pamplemouse. Just wanted to...
I would love to hear more.
He's standing on the
Money.
He's standing on the couch. Thank you.
I really like how crumply.
He looks
He
like
is.
a piece of paper. He's like,
I agree. It looks like if you touched him, he would crunch.
yes. He's got holes in his ears.
Oh, hello. I don't see you there. I was distracted by the weather. Those are cumulus clouds. Some of my favorite. How about you?
You're gonna have to do this voice the whole time now.
As long as it stays.
Yeah.
I say me too.
Me too. Are cumulus clouds also some of your favorites?
Yeah, cumulonimbus.
Cumulonimbus are different than cumulus.
But cumulus nimbus.
Who gets a rose? Mandy
Okay.
and Pamplemouse.
Okay.
That and armpit hair. Those are the
Whoa,
favorites.
I didn't know that's where we were.
We're at the apple cart.
No, it passed. Darn.
I don't remember the voice I did for Mandy. I just make up a new one.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Muffy, my aunt. They're the biggest aunt in the world. I'm so
happy for you. Okay.
You never know what danger might strike.
Were you British before?
I think so. And that is why I am an avid collector of horses. If other nobles see that I have many horses, they would not dare conspire against me because they will know that I am the most noble of all. Due to the fullness of my stables and the freshness of my hay, I am constantly keeping track of how many horses my cousins have so that I can make sure I have at least one more at all times. He seems petty.
I must be in a Sahara desert because boy, was that dry, and it made me dry.
Okay. Yeah. Did I do that?
No, I did.
I'm so glad we got a second date. I have to take a quick trip out to Ravaria this evening. They're having some weather-related problems I need to solve. We can talk about this later. How are you doing today? Not too sunny, I hope. And no above average wind chill. Just let me know.
Why is he solving the weather-related problems?
Dude, because he's Thundercroft.
He's so scraggly.
I kind of.
That's a lot to consider.
Okay, that is a lot to consider.
It is.
But I do like the scraggle. Four?
We just have to eliminate one person.
I know, but we can eliminate Flyboy.
Are you sure?
Do you like Flyboy?
No.
I'm okay.
Do you?
He's alright. Where are we?
I don't know.
Oh, we're at Cafe Portofino.
Yeah, of course. I want Muffy to grow up believing in love, even if it's hard for me. I know they need a role model, or they won't know what love is when they find it for themselves. I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think the ant has been growing.
I don't think it has.
I disagree strongly.
I think it's just the angle it's sitting at. But
Okay.
you.
You? Valid. Oh, poor Mandy. My favorite book is an 1836 copy of Les Grands Extraordinaires. A book and treatise written by my much beloved and atoned great-great-grand rat, the previously dishonorable but now in good graces, Von Tautenmouse. I keep it in my inner coat pocket along with volumes 1 through 33 of the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Volume 33 had...
Sorry. Go back to start that sentence over. I said sentence.
My favorite book is an 1836 copy of Le Grand Extraordinaire, a book and treatise written by my much beloved and atoned great-great-grand rat, the previously dishonorable.
I'm glad we get along so well. People usually take a while to warm up to me. I have snake relatives on my mother's aunt's side, so I'm sometimes cold-blooded. But I'm only literally, not emotionally. But I can be shy. And I think sometimes people get the wrong impression, or they think my name is too scary. Thundercroft.
I don't think his name is too scary. He has snake relatives in his mother's
That explains the frumpy.
It does explain the frumpy. I think it also just explains the overall weird vibe.
They do got snake eyes.
They do have snake eyes. You're a keeper. Okay. I'm so small and honorable, but as a royal, there are threats that I just cannot ignore. For example, the other day, our court jester rode in on the most magnificent horse I had ever laid eyes on. I must know, who is their equine provider? Once I find out, I shall buy the finest pair of twin horses for you and I to ride together. I'm growing quite fond of you after all. Nod.
The wink is crazy.
The wink is crazy.
Okay, I think you're right.
The ant is growing.
The ant is, yep.
Muffy is 100 times the size of a regular ant because
I don't like how it's
I only feed them Miracle Grow. Sometimes Diet Soda. After they get a bit bigger, I think. Muffy will start developing a frontal lobe. I've got a philosophy textbook you could read to them.
I don't appreciate that. Sorry, Muffy, but
When I was a kid, I used to make the sky storm by accident. Thundercroft. It would happen when I saw things that made me mad, like when I saw Schoolyard Bob steal a lollipop from the other kids, or when I saw the effects of employers that are paying their workers.
He's a communist?
I want to leave the world a better place every day through small actions, and sometimes I think about manipulating traffic lights a little bit just to optimize the flow, but a small voice inside me says, hey, Thundercroft, that would be wrong, so don't.
He cares about wage equity. And about, traffic flow.
I understand.
I'm so here for it. Here gets a rose.
I know the ant is really freaking me out, but I'm really invested with how big it's gonna get.
Okay. Wait. But Pampa Mouse was gonna buy extra roses.
Well, okay, do you want Pample Mouse? Pample Mouse. You don't have a say. Shush. Quiet on set.
We're the ones falling in love. Onwards!
Nick, shush. Please.
One time I bought some cotton candy, but I dropped it on the floor and I started crying. I'm an ugly crier. When I started crying, it started raining, and that made my cotton candy disappear, and I started crying even more. And then the rain came down even harder, so then I was all wet, and it made me even more sad, which, well, let's just say that was the biggest flood my parents ever saw in Ratvata. They don't talk about Ratvata anymore for a reason. More like Sea of Ratvata. It was good though, because we were in the middle of a drought. That was the first time I started to really understand the power that individuals have to make the world a better place. Thundercroft!
Wow, you were so smart. Aww. My neighbor and I have been... That's a big ant. My neighbor and I have been working on digging a rat-sized anthill. It started in our backyards and then we connected and kept digging east. Maybe west? Muffy loves you, mainly your nostrils. Let's go smell some dirt together. There are notes of pine and mulch in the grass patch near my home that you'll love.
I'm scared for my life.
Why does the ant love our nostrils? I don't understand
Who
that.
wants to get in them?
Is Mandy an anteater? Or is Mandy a rat?
Mandy's a rat.
But then why does Mandy have an ant?
It scares me. It is trying to touch us.
It is trying to touch us. I'm not sure about that. Who gets a rose?
I feel like this is obviously like gonna be
Thundercroft!
I'm not gonna try and do the voice, but I fully agree.
Try to do the voice.
Thundercroft.
Thundercroft.
That ant scared me.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Not looking too frumpy there, but I'm into it.
Yesterday, when I woke up for the sunrise, the perfect amount of mist was in the air, so when the sun finally peeked over the hills, you could see all the colors and rays of light, and I felt so warm and comfortable and inspired, and I realized that's also how I feel when I'm around you. I love you.
The sun finally pixel peeked over the hills.
Pixel Peak.
Pixel peek.
Pixel Peak. Well, that's all the time we had on all of these seasons of The Ratchelor. We hope you enjoyed. and I'm happy you were along with us to find love.
Yeah. Thank you for falling in love with these rats along with us.
Nick, that was so romantic.
I know, Nick. It reminded me of us, living in a little cabin in the woods with a perfect romantic getaway in Stardew Valley.
Up next is our Spixel Spotlight on Stardew Valley.
Hello, Pixel Peekers. It's Ariana Bennett. Tired of the mundane corporate life and stuffy cubicles? Do you wish you could never hear the phrase business casual again? At any moment, are you one minor inconvenience from quitting your job and moving to the countryside to become a farmer? Well, if any of this sounds like you, you're going to love the game for today's Pixel Spotlight. That's right, we're looking at Stardew Valley. Let's dig in. Get it? Dig in. Because you're a farmer and farmers... Okay, anyways. Stardew Valley was created by American game designer Eric Barone, better known by his screen name Concerned Ape. In 2011, Barone graduated with a computer science degree and wasn't having much luck finding a job that he'd enjoy. He grew up playing the 1996 game Harvest Moon, which features a similar farming simulator style, and decided to try his hand at game development. And it's safe to say he made the right choice. What's most impressive is that every element of the game was created by Barone alone. That means the music, the graphics, the dialogue, all of it was made by just one guy. So it makes sense that Barone spent more than 4 years on the game development, before finally releasing it for Windows on February 26, 2016. With over 20 million copies sold, hundreds of thousands of fans, and the number 2 spot on Steam's Top 250 list, Stardew Valley is known by many as one of the greatest video games of all time. But what makes the game so special, you say? Let's start at the beginning of the story to see how we wind up in Pelican Town. The game begins when you receive a letter from your grandpa that he instructs you to open whenever you feel, quote, feel crushed by the burden of modern life, unquote. And years into the future, when working in the cubicle at the Jojo Corporation, it seems that day has come. And it just so happens that you've inherited a plot of your grandfather's farmland and none other than Stardew Valley. When you arrive at your new home on Spring 1st, the farm is run down, overgrown with weeds, and an overall mess. It's up to you to restore it to its former glory. Progress is usually slow at first with limited funds and low quality supplies. It also takes a lot of your daily energy just to water your crops. So until you can invest in a good sprinkler system, you can only grow so much. Seeds for your farm can be obtained in various places around town, but mostly in the general store. You can find seeds for any numbers of fruits, vegetables, flowers, and other crops. It's important to note that each crop has a different harvest rate, and the kinds you can grow will change with the season. You don't want to plant all your cauliflower seeds on the last day of spring. Trust me, it doesn't go well. Players can also construct things like coops and barns to house their very own animals. There's a whole array to choose from, including chickens, cows, sheep, and... what is that? Slimes. Each animal produces a different product that can be sold for coins or used in a recipe. So with a little time and effort and a lot of love, you can turn your farm into the highlight of Pelican Town. But starting up the farm isn't your only mission, and it's actually just one part of the game. Early on in the game, Lewis, the town mayor, introduces you to the old community center. It's fallen into disrepair and has been taken over by adorable little forest spirits called Junimos. It's in this cutscene that Lewis reveals Jojo's interest in buying it and turning it into a warehouse. The choice is ultimately yours. Buy a Jojo membership and say bye to the community center, or put in the work to repair it. If you do decide to sell out to Jojo Mart, don't worry, we won't be disappointed. But Grandpa might. In addition to farming, players can enjoy leveling up their skills in foraging, fishing, mining, and combat. Each skill brings new and exciting gameplay to the table. Foraging involves gathering resources around the valley, as well as collecting wood by chopping down trees. Wood is a crucial resource in the game that's used in many construction projects for upgrading your farm. Fishing is an incredibly hit-or-miss skill that players either love or really hate. The minigame can be tricky, especially with the starting rod, but fishing can be a great way for players to earn some extra cash. Mining and combat kind of go hand in hand because both are done in the mines and caverns. Mining is one way to collect ores, stones, and precious gems to donate to the museum. As you progress deeper into the mines, you can find new items for your collection. Unfortunately, the deeper you go, the more you will come across monsters that you need to fight off to get to them. Like farming, the higher the level you obtain, the easier each skill will be and the better payout you'll get. As you explore the town, you'll meet each of the 45 villagers, the NPCs that populate Pelican Town. Concerned Ape wanted his game to become a truly immersive experience, and this sentiment is reflected in every one of his characters. Each villager has their own personality, storylines, and likes and dislikes. The more you interact with them, the more lore you unlock. And out of the 45 characters, 12 of them are single. If you interact with them enough and earn all 10 hearts, you can marry them and start a family together. But hey, if relationships aren't really up your alley, you can always ask Krobus to be your roommate. Hey Krobus! For first-time farmers, the whole concept of Stardew Valley can seem a little daunting. There are endless possibilities on how to lay out your farm, what to plant, where to go, and who to talk to. But that's the beauty of the game. You can tailor your experience to be perfect for you. There's no rush, no missed opportunities, and no penalties for missing something your first year. So whether you prefer to take it slow and enjoy the journey or speedrun it, Stardew Valley has something to offer for every kind of player. But don't take my word for it. If you want to try your hand at life in Pelican Town, Stardew Valley is available for PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and mobile. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and farm.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Pixel Peak. Thanks for watching, and
we will see you later, gamers.